Uh, I thought that tonight, above all else, was an effort win. It certainly wasn't a thing of beauty. I have tremendous respect for Ben Jacobson and his program and what he's accomplished, having coached against him each of the last 2 years, and it's a very, very hard team to beat. It takes everything you have, and I think tonight that's how we performed. Defensively, without question, the most consistent 40 minutes we've had. We seem to continue to have these scoring droughts that have plagued us in other games. In those games, we had defensive droughts along with them. It's part of the reason why we have the 4 losses we had. Tonight, when we weren't scoring, we were defending, and it's not an easy team to defend. They run great stuff with counters, and they've got good players. And a win like this is really good for our program right now.
Jared seemed to be all over the place tonight. He was really attacking the boards, both ends of the court. Is this something you expect from him, or is this something that's better than what he's shown?
You know what, I think he's feeling better. I really do. I think the last couple days in practice, his energy level was what you saw tonight. And when he was like that early. When we first started practice in October, he was like that, and then he wasn't explosive. He was playing below the rim, and he was getting his shot blocked, and he was frustrated, and consequently then I'm playing other people, and he's not getting as many minutes. But he's a guy that takes care of his body. He's been living in a training room, and what you're seeing now is a guy who's getting rebounds above the rim, and he's active. And what he did tonight, I thought, was he made really good decisions. It wasn't just he got a bunch of rebounds. He knew when to kick it back out, when to go back up with it. Against this team, that's really important. And he made one mistake that I remember when he drove it into the lane. He was trying to make a play, but I'm happy for him, because he really earned a great opportunity tonight.
You held him, but kind of took the game over in the first half and brought him back, and you held him scoreless in the second half. How much of that goes to your defense and switching defenses?
I think our changing defenses had a little to do with it. But I will say this: I think he got the same looks in the second half that he got in the first half. We paid the same attention to him. Eric left his feet one time when he got the one bucket late in the first half. You got to stay down on him. And when he's driving, he shot fakes at the end of his move. You got to stay down. But he got some clean looks at 3. We didn't pick him up in transition late. He missed a wide open 3. He doesn't usually do that. So I think we disrupted their rhythm enough, but they got some clean looks. They didn't shoot it well from 3 at all, and they were shooting plenty of them, and that's, typically they hit enough of those to erase a 7-point lead and be in a position to win the game, but the thing we were doing is we weren't giving them 2.
Will you look at this as just another win, or is this kind of an early benchmark for the program you're trying to build here?
I look at it like this. What I'm trying to do is get our program better. I don't look at benchmark wins. I don't look at signature wins. I don't look at, it's more important because it's in state. Everybody else is going to do that. I understand that. But what we have to do right now is get our team to play better than we played in the last game. And get our players to play better than they played in the last game. And get our young guys to play more like experienced players. When they do that, then we'll get better. We'll have more wins. But until we do that, it doesn't matter who we're playing, because we're not going to be in a position to win. So I think we made a big step today in terms of how we approached this game mentally, how we competed, and the fact that we were able to get a win against a really, really good team.
Fran, what does it say about this team's progress? That you kind of get stuck in a game that's more, a pace that's more Northern Iowa's liking, and yet you still come out with a win. What does that say about this team?
It's interesting because, everyone talks about, our style versus their style. What ends up happening is everybody thinks that they're letting the air out of the ball. They're not. They're executing their offense and they're deliberate. But the way they play defense requires us to be deliberate. If we come down and quick shoot the ball, this be a 15-point out. You have to break them down. You have to screen and cut and drive and shot fake and move the ball and spread the floor and space them. Because if you don't, they're going to lock in on you, and you're going to have a really bad day. So the games against them are pretty much going to be like this. No matter how much you want to run, could play like Lowell and Marymount did the 90s. And they're going to keep it here, and you have to be able to play this way. And we needed to run some set plays when we needed to. We got some buckets. And, you know, every game, you tell the kids, you know, it's the anatomy of the game. Every game's going to be different. You've got to be able to manage the game from one media timeout to the next, and one half to the next. And I thought the way we came out to start the second half, much better than the last 2 ball games, for sure.
Game was stuck on 7. You had a 7-point lead. It got inside 3 minutes, and then Matt, who hadn't made it 3 all game, buries one. Testimony to you sticking with him, but do you think that was the one, maybe the shot that got you over the hump, got you up 10? And
Well, we had a number of possessions there where we had a chance to get it from 7 to 9, 7 to 10. I don't know how many it were, maybe you guys counted, but it seemed like it was 5 or 6. And we just kept going back down and getting stops. Normally, a Northern Iowa team is going to erase a 7-point lead in 4 possessions. You know, they run such good offense, they're going to get good looks at it. But like I said, you know, they looked like they were running stuff for threes. Maybe they were settling. I don't know. And Ben was wanting to go inside a little bit more. But when they were shooting the threes, we were rebounding the ball. Jared was great. Mel was great.
Talking about Melson, you know, he seemed to have almost a career effort already.
I'm really proud of him, you know, because if you saw him down in the Virgin Islands, he was playing like a freshman. He was confused. He started to get down on himself a little bit. And we just stayed positive with him, and he stayed positive with himself at that point. And he's been terrific ever since. And the other thing is he's actually a really good foul shooter, so that'll get straightened out too. But I think, you know, double-doubles for him are not going to be a relevant possibility on a regular basis.
Only 8 turnovers tonight. Granted, the pace was a little slower, but we're still happy with the decision making.
Happy with the decision making. That's the key, because you know they don't press you. I mean they press a little bit last minute, but they're not going to press you. They're going to close on penetration. You know, they're going to do different things on ball screens. I mean, they hard hedge, they bump it under, they switch, and they really kind of keep you on your toes. So it comes down to your ability to make decisions correctly without charging and without taking a bad shot, because a bad shot is the same as a turnover. And when you watch teams get drilled by Northern Iowa, they're quick shooting the ball, they're shooting contested jumpers, and they're shooting low percentage shots. And we just felt like we had to shoot high percentage shots, and that's what we did.
Going along with part of that, I mean, everybody's talking about Cole and this double-double, but you re-screened a ton tonight. How did you do against what you remember that?
Yeah, you know, we were moving, we were spaced, and we made them guard us. And, you know, to come back and shoot, you know, 55 in the second half after we shot 28 in the first half, obviously we needed to do that and get the lead back. It's a lot harder to make those threes when you're down 7 than when you're up 7.
Coach, your guys showed a lot of intensity tonight for this in-state game. They got another one coming up on Friday against the Cyclones. Is one of your messages going to be keep that intensity up, keep that atmosphere up that you want out there?
The reality is we have to play like that every night. You know, we're not good enough to show. We're going to play hard tonight because it's Iowa State, but the next game we're not going to play so hard. We can't do that. We have to have the same effort every time we take the floor. I don't care who it is. And that's when we'll have a chance to win.